Hello everyone, good morning, good evening. Welcome to Cloud and DevOps Batch 58. So guys, I will try to aim to close observability by today. Okay, we are spending some more time, but let's try to target whatever we want. Okay, in the previous session, we got a challenge, and the challenge was we are not able to copy the Grok exporter file. Okay, and the Grok exporter file is available here, right? Well, not here. And if you go to the tools, where is the config file? Here this is supposed to be copied, but what am I doing? Okay, here instead of copy module, I'm just using the file module. Okay, so that's the reason file module is used to create a file, but I don't want to create a file, I just want to copy the file. Okay, that was the first mistake, and then it worked. Okay, and then I was able to create it. And also make sure without you don't make any sort of mistakes that are related to this exporter file. And also we also need to tell Prometheus what to monitor. So if you go to the tools create, where is that? Tools automation and the roles inside Prometheus. Okay, inside the templates, you also need to tell to Prometheus.yaml. I also want to monitor this. I also want to monitor this. So here we told Grok expense exporter to be monitored. Now I also need to tell to my Prometheus, hey Prometheus, there is one more exporter that you need to go and look into the metrics on 9144 and which is having the tags as this. Okay, because I do not want the whole world to be monitored. I only want the nodes that is having front-end dev prod or QA. That's it. Okay. Now if you run it, it will work. And also you need to remember, keep in one more point in mind. So as a part of the Ansible, if you go here inside the Prometheus, if you look at the Grok exporter, where is the Grok? Yeah, config.yaml. We have used only the response time in the last time. I also added the response code. Okay, because I also want to get the how many 400 codes are there, how many 500 codes are there. Okay, now I ran it. First, let's see whether we are able to do it or not. I just added it. So for example, $100 for MFA. Multi-factor authentication. Yes, my application is working. Now, if you go here and try to see whether application is working or not, you should be able to see that all the nodes are up. Okay, why two nodes? Because there are two exporters, one need to be removed. This is because of the old data. Now at the same time, if you see, I mean, I have created it as a response time, right? Now come here and try to search for it. Now you can also see the response time of the request. Can you see this? When you hit the response time, okay, when you hit the response time, response underscore time, I'm giving the HTTP path. That means I am interested in getting the value of the response time based on this. Okay, so I want to get the response time based on this, so I have given the label as this. Okay, so I want to know the response time, keeping this into consideration. Similarly, I also want to know the response code, but it is unrelated. That's the reason if you come here and try to hit a response time, you can see what is the response time of your front end -dev. These two are the old nodes. Okay, forget about it. And if you look at this front end -dev, you are getting the response details as well. All right, any questions so far? Okay, all right. Now first, even before that, you need to go and check on the front end, SSH to front end. Okay, curl localhost colon 9144, which is Grok exporter metrics. Okay, so come here and go to 9144. Okay, can you see this response code you are getting? Okay, you if you remove the older data, these will be gone. If you look at this response code, okay, and response time, mm, can you see this response time size is this? Okay, so response time you're getting 1 second, response underscore code. Okay, if you look at this, you're getting the response code. Okay, response code you're getting 30 to 200 responses, 304 responses, 403 responses, and 404 2 responses. Okay, fine. Response underscore time. You can see response time 1788. So response time If you look at this, can you see the response time? When it is trying to make the API transaction, 0.004. And when it is trying to access one object, it is 0. When it is trying to access this particular object, it took 0.005. I am only interested about how much transaction time it has taken. Rest of them, I don't care. Okay. So with this information, let's try to build a dashboard. Okay. So go here. Mm. So go to the Grafana. Okay. I would like to add one more visualization. And this time the visualization that I would like to add is this. Okay. Code QL. So response code, just run it. Now you are getting this information. Okay, response code, you are getting how many 200, how many 300, how many 400 you are getting, right? Now what I would like to do is I would like to uh, mention it. I would like to go with numbers, stat. Okay, but this is giving me some other information which I'm not interested. Among all, response code. Okay, you can see this parameter I would like to use. Response underscore code is a highlighter I would like to use. Response underscore code. Options. Verbose. Not verbose, custom. I just want to run it. Now you're getting how many 300, how many 400, how many 500, and how many 500. Okay. So this way you can get the information. Uh, HTTP response codes. Apply. Okay. Now these many 304s are coming. These many 400s are coming. These many this one are coming. So among all, as long as you don't get the 500 error codes, you are fine. So 13, you are getting redirectional errors. So how to fix the errors is the secondary thing. At this point of time, we are able to capture the response times. Okay. This is one thing. Okay. Now we have the observability of this as well. Done. Next, what I want is I also want to have the response time. Okay. How can I get the response time? Again, alignment, you always have an opportunity. Done. Now, likewise, what I want to do is I'm also interested about one more visualization, response time. Run the query. At any point of time, you're getting it. So I am interested about the response time. Okay. I'm interested about the average response time. Now you're getting at any point of time what is the average response time. You have that information. As per your organization policy, any response time is greater than 1 second is a not good thing. You can do that. Okay. So the response time is also something you can target. So let's try to say apply. Okay. Now you can see the response time. Average response time. Okay, at any point of time you have this information, average response time. And also the CPU utilization, memory utilization. I just want to jot this down. MySQL CPU utilization. Likewise, let's take it down. We also need to organize it well. Okay, but for now, that's fine. So I can organize it, save it. Let's try to give a number. Or if you are interested about the transaction response time, you can also do that. So here you are getting the response, right? Response time. And it is also giving you the response time of this particular transaction. Among all, you are only interested about this response time of okay, let's target about overall response time. Okay, I'm only interested about the response time. Rest, let's not care. Okay, because these are taken really zero. Okay, and these are coming up from nothing. I'm not interested about this. What is CSS, psycho, and all. I'm only interested about what is the overall response time. Fine, average response time. Apply. So at any point of time, you know what is the average response time as well. Okay, so these sort of information that you have. Uh, now you know how many errors you have. Error count, headers, consoles, error count. Done. Okay, so average response time is also taken. CPU utilization, memory utilization, what is the CPU utilization percentage, all these things you have, CPU memory utilization. And along with that, mm, let's remove these graphs. Okay, these are not really needed because CPU you are already projecting it here. 2 times it's not really needed. If you are someone interested in aesthetics, okay, so it takes time to Jordan this. Okay, next, so we have the CPU information, we have the response time, we have the error count, we have the CPU memory utilization. We also have information about whether the system is up or not. Okay, if you go back and see whether it is really intended or not, um, now we have the traffic. Okay, so we have the information of the traffic. Okay, how many errors are coming up? 200 responses. How many 200 responses are there? You have the information about the traffic and along with the error count. Okay, next. You also have information about, okay, saturation, CPU utilization, memory utilization. You know what is the response time. You know what is the traffic. At any point of time, if you want to target what's going on, you can say anything. Okay, so we have the whole information. All right. Any questions? Any questions? 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 Any questions? Want to take a pause? Questions? Questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions? We also have Nginx. Nginx. HTTP request total. Okay, so total 161 requests. So how many requests are coming up? That is also something you can add it rather than the real request. Front end process request. Okay, Nginx handled. That means how many requests were processed and sent to the backend. Like it's not like someone coming and accessing the front end. No, it's like someone coming, accessing the front end and saving the records. Okay, so run the query. So overall 162 records are in place. There is no such thing, no threshold or anything. Total requests. Okay, these are total requests. And how many requests are processed is also something we should have it, right? So we only have what is our average response time, CPU utilization, memory utilization. We don't have how many requests are processed by the front end. So what I can do is Nginx total HTTP requests. What can I get? Total requests. Nginx connections accepted. Connections handled, yeah. Okay, because these are only two requests. I'll go here and I'll try to make some payments. No, 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 no. I just want to say in last 30 minutes. Okay, now you can see how many requests are there. Nginx handled. Okay, so connections handled. Total requests. Run the query. And if you try to put it as last 1 hour, just for the heck of it. Okay, now I'll come here and let us save it. Total requests. Handled requests. Maybe you can also consider how many payments are happening. All right. Where is the number? Total. Total handled requests. Total handled requests. Total processed requests. This is the right word. Done. Okay, at any point of time, you have that information. Okay, so with this, at any point of time, we know how many 200 requests are there, how many 304 requests are there. If anything comes up 400 and 300, it's quite alarming for me. So I have all the needed information. Okay, now I also want to know, for example, if I want to see whether my service front end is up or not, sudo systemctl status nginx. I also want to know the status of the nginx. So how can I do that? So these are the systemd files. Okay, any questions, anyone so far? Any questions? I want to take a pause to take up any questions if anyone has. Any questions? All right. Am I audible? Can someone confirm me? Grisha, Mridula,
Yeah, it's
Nitin.
audible. It's audible. Yeah.
Okay. Now, next I'm also interested about knowing the status of Nginx, knowing the status of backend, knowing the status of my uh, Nginx backend and MySQL. How can I do that? So there are some node related metrics.
పెయిన్ వచ్చినది అనుకోకుండా ఎప్పుడు అంటే ఎట్లా నాన్న మొన్న నేను చేశాను అప్పుడే లాస్ట్ డే
All right. So node, there is something called a systemd. Why are we not getting these metrics? Node systemd, no. Nginx up. It tells you whether the service is up or not. Okay, I'm interested about the front end. Nginx status. Okay, it tells you whether the service is up or not. I would like to go with gaze. Okay, and value mappings. One is equal to up, and I want to set the color as green. And if the value is 0, and I want to call it as a down, I would like to set the color as red. That's it. It tells you whether it is up or not. I would like to call it as Nginx status. It's Nginx status. All right, now okay, now you can also see what is the status of it. For some reason, the systemds are not coming up. Node. Uh, for some reason, node metrics are not coming up. I'll just check that out, okay? But that's not a showstopper. If you have these information, you can also get these things, okay? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so with the goal that we have started, we have all the needed metrics, all the needed metrics information we have. Okay, so you know what is the response time? Let's save it. Okay, now you know what is the response time at any point of time of your transactions. You know what is the CPU utilization graphs, and you know how many error codes are coming up. What is the error code? How many error codes are coming? What is the availability of the system, and how many requests are handled, and how many requests are processed? Total handled request versus total processed request. Okay, total processed request, right? Total handled request. This is the important thing. Total handled request or total processed request. Okay. Now you know what is the total handle request versus these are all the requests that are hitting the front end that can be anything, including Prometheus or any other tool. These are the real transactions. Okay. So this is the information that I have. All right. Any other questions? Any questions? Questions. Okay. And there is also another concept called as application performance monitoring. That is another beautiful concept. Here it is only telling you the information. Okay, but it's not really telling, okay, if I ask you the average response time is this. And if I ask you what is the reason for the average response time as 2 seconds or 3 seconds, you don't have an answer because it is just displaying you the information. Okay. Right now, Google has added artificial intelligence to its search engine, right? So that you don't have to go through all the URLs to give you some better result. Earlier, you are deciding which is the best result. Now, AI is deciding based on going through multiple pages. It is giving you which is the best result, right? Similarly, there are tools called as APM. Okay, what this APM does? APM stands for Application Performance Monitoring Tool. Okay, let's talk about it. APM. So there are infra monitoring, this we already seen. Next, application performance monitoring. Okay, and in this space, top three tools are New Relic, Datadog, and Dynatrace. All three are top notch. So we'll also see something called as New Relic. Even in interviews, they're asking you nowadays. So what I'm going to do is I'll also teach you New Relic. So it tells you the code level metrics as well, what's going on, who is accessing it, all such details you'll get it. Okay, for that we'll export all the application metrics into the New Relic and we'll see great insight around it. Okay, and then log aggregation. We will also collect all the logs from all the systems and keep it else. Okay, all right. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Questions? All right. And I also want to tell you one important point here. So here, you go here. Uh, we didn't write one point we wrote one point very badly. Uh, what I can do? Okay. So for example, you go to tools automation and in the tools automation, go to the module and inside the module, sg.tf. So we have these many things, right? Var dot port number and all these things we are not really writing in a very good format, by the way. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to supply these port numbers in a list. Okay. So that I can use it how much ever I want. Okay. So, and another thing is, if you're having 10 ports to be opening this doesn't sound good. So I just want to handle it. Okay. So there is a concept called as, okay, there is a concept called as, so var dot port number. So there is a nice concept called as a dynamic blocks. So what it does is, so example of dynamic block. See, if you are having 1000 ports, technically it doesn't sound good, right? Adding it and because it increases the complexity. So what is our approach? If something is repetitive, we need to use a condition, loop it. Okay. So we can use a for each condition that can do that job. Okay. How can I handle that? How can I handle that? Okay. So what I'm thinking is, what I am thinking is, and moreover, another important point I forgot to tell you, where is that AF module Terraform? Here we are writing it two times, right? So first it allows, okay, and second time it is removing it. Okay, it is never happening because first it is creating the resource. Okay, fine. And then for the front end, this is applying it, that is not really applying it because one resource cannot be, one resource cannot be managed two times. Okay, somehow this is not working and I don't like writing this n number of times. I want to use a loop. Okay, I want to use a loop. How can I do that? Okay, how can I do that is, mm, let's go to main dot this one. I don't want to write it these many times. Okay. How can I deal that? Okay, how can I deal that? Okay, now I don't want to have these many. Instead, I just want to have only one. It has to iterate multiple times. Okay, that's what I'm aiming towards. So this keeps on removing and adding. So what I want to do is I would like to go with a dynamic block. Okay, there is a concept called a dynamic block in Terraform to avoid these situations. Dynamic block Terraform. So what it does is the main idea behind that, okay, with the top level, okay, so what it does is whatever the content that you're having repetitive. So that content you can extract it. In our case, these 4 lines are repetitive. What I can do is I can cut this, I can supply this. In our case, dynamic setting. Okay, so setting is not the case. Okay, so in our case, what is the property? Ingress. Ingress should be dynamic. So I have to say dynamic ingress and I need to run it against the loop. Okay, so let's give a try by making that. So first you need to supply the input in a better way. So come here. Mhm. First come tools automation variables.tf. So for the vault port number, right? What I would like to do is port number is equal to vault. Okay, done. It's not wallet, it's vault. Okay, and then it's going to be Prometheus. Its Prometheus is 9000 and Grafana. Okay, so I can remove this. I can remove this so that I can supply it as a list. Okay, done. Port number vault is equal to this. Port number Prometheus is equal to this, and Grafana is equal to this. Fine. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll okay. Now this is going to be key, each dot key and each dot value of this particular key. Okay. So how can I supply it? Let's go to tools automation and go to the main file, not main file, inside the to module sc.tf. What I can do is what I can do is I just need to cut these 4 lines, right? I'm only interested in these 4 lines. Copy this. Okay. And then I would like to use the dynamic. Dynamic ingress. Okay. And you need to say content. Okay, done. And you need to use a for each condition, right? For each. Okay, I'm iterating it. For each var dot port number. Perfect. So for each var dot port number. So so for each var dot port number, the condition is equal to how are we supplying the values like this. Okay, for each var dot port number, this is the interested point that I'm on, and ingress dot value. Okay, so how are they writing? So var dot settings, which property you want, setting dot value of which one you want. So that's it. Let's try to see it. I don't want this anymore. Okay. So now how many number of port that comes up? It will not work out for us. For each, okay, load the tools automation. Okay, perfect. Mhm. Any questions, anyone, by the way? Any questions? Any questions? Questions? Am I audible? Am I audible, guys? Can someone confirm me?
Yes, man.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
audible. Yeah.
All right. So we are done. Okay. All we are doing is just trying to enhance what best we can do on it. Okay. Uh, anything else? Anything else? Okay, let's try to, we can also add the description, by the way. Okay. So it's very, very simple. So we want to add these points, and these are the 3 points that we would like to add. What we did, we just said for each var dot settings, okay, because the name of the block is dynamic settings. For each var dot settings, okay, I would like to iterate this particular point and setting dot value of namespace. What are the values that we want? Okay, ingress dot value, okay, ingress dot this, ingress dot that, okay, and in our case, port number is something I would like to iterate. That's it. Even if you have 10, 20, it's easy. Okay. Now it also has a description. All right. Now let's try to run the tools automation. You should see no changes. Okay. You should not see any sort of changes. Okay. It should not cause any sort of changes. Okay. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. If you look at this, there are no changes. Are there any changes? Perfect. Want to change, and from next time, it's not going to sort the way that we are looking. So 22 done, 1990, perfect. 1990, okay. We remove 2022, 2022 and 1990. 1990 is added. There is 9000, 1990. There is 1990. There is 1990. Okay, Prometheus works on 1990, perfect. And it should not cause any sort of changes. Okay, module.prometheus, fine. Okay, perfect. Now let's see whether it is application is really working or not. It should. Okay, that should be it. Why again it's running? Oh, 9090. What did I give? 9090. Ah, okay. What is Prometheus port number? 9090, right? I did a mistake. Prometheus is 9090. I did a mistake. Instead of Vault 8200, Prometheus 9090, and Grafana 3000. Okay, let's try to push it one more time. Sorry. Right. Let's wait. It says it should not cause any sort of issues. It should just refresh rather changing anything. 9090 should be changed to 9000. Okay, 2222. Okay, what all it? Okay, 9090 added, perfect. 22 added, perfect. 9090 and perfect. That's it. All right, should be good. I think, are we missing anything? I think that should be it. So yeah, I think we should be good with observability. So we'll start with another topic on Monday. So spend this weekend to learn whatever we have implemented. That is very important. Okay. So we have achieved all these four. Everything we have achieved it in the form of code. Only dashboard creation, I refrained myself going through the code, though we can do it. It's somehow, but if time permits, we'll go through that as well. Traffic, I know how to do it. We did it. Latency, we have it. Errors, we called it. Saturation, we called it. Okay, that's it. We'll start enhancements on Terraform again on Monday. That's it. That's for today, guys. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Any questions, anyone? All right. Let's take a pause for today, guys. Okay. We'll continue on Monday. So as we are good with observability, we'll start some other aspect. Again, Terraform only. Okay, but we'll enhance certain aspects which we haven't covered. All right. That's it. That's for today. Anyone has any questions?
No from my side.
Well, are we clear? We have taken a line standard operating procedure and we are aligned to that. Okay. Clear, guys. Okay, then
Yeah.
that's it. That's for today. And we're going to meet tomorrow in the session. Thank you. Signing off. Day after tomorrow. Okay.